Hello, hello! Welcome to my next Juno Birch tutorial. First things first, I'm stunning and I need to give myself a manicure. These dishwashing gloves that I used for my last Juno Birch video, I did then use to wash dishes, so my nail polish got a little bit chipped, which is not a problem, very easy to fix. Going over with a generous coat of this hot pink Sally Hansen nail polish, and then I'm ready. I also, for this tutorial, I'm gonna change up my wig a little bit using these Velcro and foam rollers. Now, just last week, Juno herself blessed us with a makeup tutorial on her channel, and so that's what I'm going to be following today for this look. And for most of that video, she was wearing pink foam rollers in her hair, and I didn't have the exact right ones. And we're supposed to be social distancing right now, so I went to my corner store, which happened to sell these pink rollers, and I just combined a foam roller with a Velcro roller and did my best. I didn't want to have to buy many new items for this tutorial, and in fact that was the only thing I did pick up, so hey ho. Next, taking my thoroughly busted and dusted wig that you saw in my last video and taking down that front part that I had put a ton of back combing in, and now I'm trying to brush out that back combing so that I can section off the front of the hair and put it into my newly formed pink Velcro foam rollers. All right. And we're ready to go on the fun part, the makeup. Firstly, I'm putting some Victoria Beckham Illuminating Cream on my skin. I did put my Province Apothecary toner and serum on hours before this, but right before filming I wanted to moisturize again and then hit my face with a bit of primer because it's going to be a heavy makeup look. You saw there I'm taking a alcohol pad, 70% alcohol pad, to get all of the moisture out of my brows so I can block them down. So once my brows are totally clean and dry, I'm taking my purple Elmer's glue stick and I'm really working it in through the brow hair. As I said on my last video, I'm not an expert on this. I'm not a drag queen, believe it or not. So definitely look up some step-by-step tutorials on how to do this if you're struggling, as I do every time I try to do a brow block. Hitting my brows with my hairdryer on a cool setting in between each layer of glue before I then go back in and smooth over again with my comb. It's the first time I've used a comb like this because I've seen a lot of drag queens use such a comb, and I found it was really good for just like flattening out the hairs. On another cotton pad I'm going to take a little bit of water, just plain water, to get the excess glue from around the edges of my brows. That's going to be important to keep the area as smooth as possible. Did you catch that? See what I did there? Gave that little stick a lick. I've seen Trixie Mattel do that a number of times. Apparently on her last layer of glue she licks the stick before putting it on. So, you know, I tried it. I don't know what it did, but I did it. I'm now taking a powder puff and firmly pressing translucent powder into my brows to really set them and get any excess moisture out and get them ready to be covered. Taking a tea towel there just to keep the makeup off my shirt and dust off my excess white powder. The white powder I use there is just the RCMA no color powder. Ooh, look at that. Got blue eyes and soon gonna have blue skin. My dream. Now, Juno in her video said she uses the Kryolan TV paint stick in white and mixes it with some cream color from Revolution Pro. I do not have either of those products, but I put together what I thought would be similar. So I'm using the white color from the Makeup Forever Flash palette mixed with a little bit of a NYX cream color base. It's kind of like a cream eyeshadow and can be used, you know, as eyeliner or wherever. So it looks pretty similar to the Revolution product that Juno shows in her video. What I didn't anticipate, however, though, is that these cream colors are made to set, and so mixing it in with the Makeup Forever cream, it made it much thicker, whereas on its own the Makeup Forever cream is very greasy and emollient. So you'll see it's actually a bit of a struggle for me to move around my face. I'm putting it all over my face and down my neck using a Real Techniques foundation brush. And I did have to do a second layer of this because that NYX product just really dried everything up. So I did a whole second layer that is just the Makeup Forever cream colors. And then went over it just to get rid of the brush strokes using a sponge. And that whole thing is going to get a very thorough powdering with the same translucent powder I used on my brows. Now, contouring, we got to put some shape back into the face, and I'm doing that using two eyeshadows. The first is Laguna, which is that kind of lighter blue, almost turquoise shade, which is from the Natasha Denona Tropic palette, and then I'm deepening it up with the blue shade called Dream It from the Alyssa Edwards palette. Everything will be listed in the description box that I used, but as you can see, I'm drawing on my cheekbones, going around my hairline, and Juno doesn't have to do this because her bone structure is just so stunning, but I did take some through my sockets around my eyes to make my eyes a little bit more deep set like hers. And I'm contouring my jaw and under my chin. To further carve out the cheekbones, I'm taking the translucent or white powder underneath the contour lines there and under my eyes. This is the fun part. I don't think I've ever had so much fun putting blush on. So I'm taking the brightest pinky red blush that I could find, and I'm just really going ham on my cheeks and across my nose. And I just love it. It's starting to look like a real cotton candy dream. Oh, and that dream has become a nightmare because I'm preparing to do the eyebrows, which is one of the scariest parts of doing this makeup, and I did not get it perfect, but I tried. I'm taking the white cream from the Flash palette and highlighting the brow bone. So painting it on and then blending it down with my finger before setting it with translucent powder. And it's okay to go right over the eyebrows, the black part, as well with that translucent powder before dusting it off to set it. The next scariest part, I was so scared I didn't even film it, was cutting that crease. So drawing in with that navy eyeshadow a new crease line. And then taking the brush that we use for our contour and, without putting any blue eyeshadow on it, blend out the line from the crease and use what's left on the brush, that excess blue shadow, to contour the nose. You don't really need to add anything more. There'll be enough product there. You just bring it towards the inner corner and down the bridge of the nose. I'm using the Real Techniques detailer brush to do the same thing along the lower lash line and meet it up with the new crease line on the upper lash. Now, Juno was using a navy color from the Jeffree Star Blue Blood palette. I don't own that and I don't plan on owning it. So I used a blue eyeshadow from the Sleek Makeup Bad Girl palette. And it's not as dark as the color she uses, so I will also take a little bit of the black from that same palette to deepen the crease line. There it is. And I found it was effective just layering the navy and the black back and forth to get the desired crease color. And I'm sorry you didn't see me lay down the initial crease line, but the process is just exactly what you're seeing, and I did need to do it a few times to get it as deep and dark as Juno's. So just back and forth and making sure to blend well in between. And now that the crease is cut, we can fill in the lid with a white cream color. I'm switching between the NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk at the base of the lashes, and then refining with a flat concealer brush and some of that Makeup Forever white cream to get more detailed, being careful to just drag it along the line, the navy line that we've just put down, and as needed, pulling the lid gently out to get the detail on the edge there. Now, Juno set this white lid using a Trixie Mattel glitter, and I don't have it, nor do I have any other glitter, so I use this Pat McGrath Labs shimmery eyeshadow, and it didn't exactly do the trick. So if you don't have glitter, what I should have done is set the cream on the lid with a white eyeshadow or with that same translucent powder that we used earlier. And because I didn't do that, there's still quite a lot of cream exposed on my lid, and so it's making this liner, for example, that I'm putting on really muddy. So you'll see I have to go back in, I have to dip back in, pardon me, to the eyeliner quite a few times to make it as black as possible. So it did take a while, but it's not the end of the world. I've made many mistakes, and I will continue to make mistakes. But there's one eye done with the liner, and the other. So that same Pat McGrath shimmery bluish white, I'm taking down my nose as well as on my cheekbones and packing as much as I can on the white part of my brow bone there as a highlighter. Now, to refine the eyebrows a little bit, I'm taking a thin black liquid liner pen to make them as smooth as possible. And fixing them up as needed. Now, Juno shaves her brows off, and so it makes her eyebrow process a lot easier. A brow block will never be ideal, especially on someone like me, who's a novice at it. It'll still always look a little bit chunky and funky, but I'm doing my best. Okay, so I've put a quick coat of mascara on, and I'm moving to the lips. So similar to the lid being difficult to line because of the white cream, it was also difficult to put this lipstick on. I'm using a NYX Lip Lingerie liquid lipstick, and I had to go back into the tube many times over to get the color exactly right. And I rounded out my Cupid's bow, just as Juno does in the video, to make my lips look just huge. A little bit of white cream went through the center to make it lighter and even more full. And an interesting technique here is that Juno took a red eyeshadow as lip liner. So that's what you're seeing. I went all around the edges of that with a dark red eyeshadow. Drying off my lash glue to get these lashes on. I know it doesn't look like much, but this is actually 3 pairs of some thinner lashes stacked on each other, and then thrown on my face. I'm taking a sparkly blue liner, dotting it on my hand, and then pressing it on my skin for some stunning blue freckles, which made me feel very cute indeed. And I'm putting on Juno's iconic white highlights. Now, in her most recent video, she put them on with white acrylic paint, which is so intense. But she's an artist, she's a professional, she knows what she's doing. I'll just use this cream shadow. And speaking of which, I'm taking a bit of the blue cream that I used for my face base through my waterline, just because my eyes are looking a little yellow next to my blue skin. And that's it, that's the makeup done. So I'm putting my wig back on with my stunning Velcro rollers. I tried to throw together a costume, which was basically just mixing whatever loud prints I had in my closet. Now, I really enjoyed making my last Juno Birch video, and since then I was like, okay, so I've done her in purple, next I have to do her in blue, and then maybe green. And I noticed that she'd been wearing her makeup with this darker cut crease more recently, so I was like, gotta try that. So I was really pleased when she posted her video last week going through the look. And I have to say, you know, I've made some mistakes. My lashes are barely hanging on for dear life. But I feel really stunning, really beautiful in this makeup look. Yeah, and I can't wait to try some other similar alien beauty routines, because they make me feel super beautiful. So I definitely need to keep practicing my brow block, and I need to study up a bit more on the exact shape of my cut crease. Gotta get some bigger, fatter lashes to stack, and practice my wig work. Everything I've learned about wigs so far, I did learn from Jaymes Mansfield, so check out their YouTube channel, it's amazing. And otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe. Till next time, bye-bye.